music does have the ability to influence and help us with our ailments, whatever they may be, mental or physical.
Every human being, I believe, has within inside of them the resources to heal themselves from whatever it might be, whether it's physical, not that we could totally reverse perhaps a physical ailment, but we would have the resources within ourselves to deal with the physical ailment. If it's a psychological illness, I believe we have the resources inside to heal ourselves. Music is what I see that unlocks those resources for us.
It is obvious that music plays an important role in all of our lives. What is it about music that is so appealing, so profound, and so unexplainable? What allows it to heal?
I'm not sure we really know exactly why and how a piece of music impacts the way it does. I think that's a mystery in a way. I mean, we learn certain things about it, and we learn how to get tension and intensity out of a passage of music through dissonance or texture or whatever. But exactly why that affects the human mind and the human heart, why it has this influence, I'm not sure I've figured it out yet. But boy doesn't. But boy doesn't.
Two reasons. Again, the physical vibratory quality. Well, this is, it feels good. I mean, being hit with physical vibrations feels good. It's like a massage, right? So there's that. The other element is the psychological element, because music has the power to evoke extra musical sensations. And the combination of them is very powerful, I think.
Extra musical sensations can be manifest through singing, clapping, dancing, crying, and listening. No other form of expression exists that can produce such a wide range of emotions and sensations. Music is truly unique and sets it apart from all other forms of art.
I think perhaps the thing that sets it apart most is that it uses pure sound and gives us the opportunity to experience and explore and examine the relationship of this sound to the human mind and to the human heart. You mentioned the depth of feeling that music can produce. It can also produce depth of thought. And I think it's that use of sound to touch both our mental and our emotional and our physical lives.
Since music's creation, everybody has known of its powerful effects, its power to enlighten, its power to strengthen, and its power to soothe. This idea of music being able to heal has been around for millennia.
You know, if you go back to the earliest recorded times in the Old Testament, there's a lot of citations of the use of music. The Greeks and the Romans believed in using modes for healing. It's very important information. I mean, the Greek god Apollo was the god of medicine, and he was also the god of music. And all of the primitive societies, the medicine men, the priests, they were also the chief musicians. So there was always this integral relationship between music and healing. Coming up into the Renaissance period, as a matter of fact, there was a physician, Thomas del Garbo, that used to, that is quoted for, he used to prescribe music as preventative medicine for the plague. And he said, you know, music can lift your spirits and you can avoid the plague. And it's rather prophetic from the standpoint that now, over the last couple of decades, we have a lot of research literature about the effects of music on the immune system, and it's scientifically validated, and yet this man sort of intuitively knew in the Renaissance. So as far as people and music and healing, it's one of the very oldest practices.
Music to each individual is special in a different way. However, all can agree on common functions that music seems to engage.
I know if I've had a really long day and it's been stressful and things aren't really going well, or they are going, it's just jam-packed and frustrating. It's always really nice for me to put on some music that's a lot more relaxing. Whereas if it's kind of a slow day and I want something a little more exciting, then I'll put something up a lot more upbeat and exciting.
When asked the question, how does music affect your mood, 80% of the respondents agreed with Noah Riley by saying it relaxes me. A second response to the question was group cohesion.
It seems to me like music breaks all boundaries between people. That people from every walk of life, every culture, have some commonality within music. And you can go into a field, you know, and have 5,000 people there and start doing some type of a musical intervention, and people are drawn to music. People are drawn to the sounds, they're drawn to the rhythm. It resonates with their own personal self. And you don't need to understand the language of somebody else, but there's always a common element in music.
If I was a songwriter or a musician, I think a real appeal to me, which I don't get to do in my anatomy class, a real appeal to me would be to write a song or write music that could inspire people and maybe encourage them to do better things in life and get everybody on that. We're such a divisive society, and to have something that could bring people together, perhaps for a common goal, I think would be a great challenge as a musician.
But also just in terms of like social gatherings, I think this is, for my money, sort of the most beautiful aspect of music therapy is using it as a way to encourage a sense of community. You know, because people feel so ostracized, and this can really hurt people throughout their whole life. People make decisions based on fear for being ostracized, not being accepted by the community. And music is one of the greatest ways to create this sense of community without having to bring up, what race are you, what gender are you, none of that has anything to do with it. You're together making these vibrations, and that's delightful.
It is clear that music profoundly affects us all in different ways. Music therapists know how to use music carefully and skillfully.